sailing away, my own true love. I'm sailing away in the morning.
Measure 1. We have a G chord. Classic G to a C with a G in the bass. So I got just the 3rd fret here on that low string. Thumb is bouncing back and forth between 6 and 4. And we got thumb alone. Then I'm going to pinch 4 and 2 with my thumb and middle. So thumb on 6 and 4 and 2. Second half of the measure. Thumb goes back to 6. Pointer finger goes to the 3rd string. So 6, 3. Then I'm going to play the 4th string, but this is where I put these 2 fingers down. So it's kind of going to be like a C chord, but I keep that G in the bass. So 1st fret, 2nd string, 2nd fret, 4th string. That's still on the 6th. And it's 6, 3, 4, 2 are the strings, and it's thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. So the whole measure, 3, 4. And it's really important, this whole song, it's going to be very important when you're doing that pull off and hammer on in and out of that chord. It's not technically a pull off, but you're going to hear him hit it sometimes like this. Like even though I'm putting the chord, both of those fingers down right when I hit the 2nd fret, so the 2nd to the last note, Dylan's hammering them both down. Now I know it'd be more precise if you did it like this. Middle finger, then the pointer, but that's not how we really do it in folk. All these guys are just hammering down and then they're lifting them both up at the same time. And it's kind of cool because it creates this extra little artifact of noise that's quite nice and gives this illusion of they're kind of like ghost notes hiding in there. So one more time, 3, 4. Then I hammer the whole chord down. Right, these 2 and 1 always go down together, that middle and pointer finger. Measure 2, we keep it down. 6, pinch 4 and 2. So it starts the same, but the chord is already down. Then I lift it when I hit open there. Open, open. So it's the same exact right pattern. 6, 4 and 2. Then go back to 6, 3, thumb on 4, middle on 2. So that together, 3, 4. 3, 4. Again, when you're playing those, make sure you're lifting and pressing down and lifting at the same time. So 3, 4. Put the chord down. Lift it up. Chicka boom boom boom. Chicka Mike's music method. Boom. Straight to the point today. Boots of Spanish Leather by Bob Dylan. Thank you, Marcus Cool, for sponsoring this song. Great song. It is basically exactly the same as Girl from the North Country. Totally same chords and picking. Great beginner Travis picking piece. If you're totally new, check out the Travis picking playlist. Otherwise, you're going to be able to do it. I'm Mike. I'm going to walk you step by step through every measure of the song. Timestamps down below are your best friend. Then at the end of the video, towards the end, we'll learn how to sing it together at the same time as we're playing it. I'll give you some tips on that. At the very end, there's slow run-throughs. So as you get better at it, jump to the end and I play through every section nice and slow for you. Dylan does capo on the 1st fret. I'm just taking the capo off to keep it easier for everybody so you don't have to go grab the capo. That's it. Let's dive in. Tabs are all free to download at mikesmusicmethod.com. So don't just look at it up here, download it, print it. You're going to practice it that much more often. More often if it's in front of you, printed instead of as a PDF on your freaking tablet or little phone. Let's do it. Thank you, Marcus. Bob Dylan, Boots of Spanish Leather. I adore this song. Always have. Measure 3. Now we actually are going to hammer on that pointer and middle finger. So I got 6 alone, pinching 4 and 2, and I'm going to hammer both of those down. Nice clean hammer there. There we're actually getting it. Then I do 6, 3 again. Then I lift the chord, thumbs on 4, middle fingers on 2. So that whole measure, 3, 4, pinch. And I'm going to point this out now. You can either lift on the and of beat 3 or right at the tip of beat 4. kind of your call. Measure 4 is real easy. Thumb, pinch 4 and 2 again. 6, 3, 4. Thumb, pinch, thumb, pointer, thumb. We are cruising along. Measure 5, same little hammer-on idea. Then it's just 6, 3, 4. We just end on the 4th beat, so 3, 4. And I tend to be lifting it on the and beat. If you're trying to follow along with me, I'm doing 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And I know that's a hair early from when you need to lift it, but I kind of feel like that's what Dylan's doing. At least that's what I'm intuitively doing when I'm playing this one. Here we got the E minor 9. As I mentioned in the intro, this is like basically Girl from North Country. It's like the same song. So how we do this E minor 9, it's quite beautiful. First off, you have the 7 in there. So if you know your E minor 7, it's that note D, right? It's the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. But we're actually going to play it with our pointer finger or your middle. If you're playing it with your pointer, the next note we're going to get is the 9, and that's an F sharp. But we're actually playing it on the 4th fret of the D string. So I need those 2 notes. The D here, 2nd fret of the B string, and the F sharp here, 4th fret of the D string. Now you can do it like this, or you can do pointer and middle. So fingers 1 and 2, or fingers 3 and 4. It's your call. I'm probably doing pointer and middle just because they're stronger. We have the same kind of pattern, 6, pinch 4 and 2. 6, 3, 4, and it's always thumb, thumb and middle, thumb, index, thumb. Next measure 7's the same thing, except he lifts the chord here and he does 6, 3, 4, 3, thumb, pointer, pointer. So that measure 3, 4. Measure 8 is a D7 with the F sharp in the bass. I am doing the thumb over the top. You don't have to. You could do it like this. Just know that it's a D7. I think at some point in the song he does utilize that high E string. He doesn't for now, but he will later on. So just keep that in mind. If you do it this way, you're going to have to do it's either a pull off or a hammer on with your pinky coming up. Or you do your thumb over the top. But again, the strings are eventually 2. You don't need it now. 1, 2. So from the ground up, 2, 1, 2. Then on the lowest string, I need another 2. And measure 8 looks like this, 3, 4. And the thumb, again, is just back and forth between 6 and 4. And I've got 6, pinching 4 and 2, thumb in the middle. 6 with the thumb, 3 with the pointer, thumb on the 4th. And then pointer goes back to the 3rd string, and I lift it. 3, 4. Measure 9 we've seen before. Back to this G. Hammer into the C. 10's the same. Stay on the C. Lift it back into the G. We've seen 11 before as well. Doing great. 12, we go back to that E minor 7. Thumb, pinch, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. 13's a little different. We go to like just kind of an open E minor. E minor 7 because you got that open D. It's literally just open 6, open 4, and 2. So it's thumb and then thumb and middle. And I know that sounds weird when you do it slow, but I promise when it's up to speed, it sounds good. That's what he's doing. Then we enter. This measure is weird. Leave it up to Dylan. It's like we got an early D7. You don't really expect it here, but he drops in that D7 idea with the F sharp in the bass. And here it's just thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. Strings are 6, 3, 4, 2. So that whole measure, 3, 4. Then right back into the G, and this we've all seen before in 14, 15, ever so slightly different there. Thumb, pinching thumb and middle on 4 and 2. Then we continue with thumb back to the 2nd string, thumb back to the 2nd string again. So I'm doing all those melody notes with my middle finger there. Pinch with the middle, thumb, middle, thumb, pinch with the middle, thumb, middle. These are these subtle things that by no means do you have to get down exact. But, Dylan's loose with his picking. He's good. He trusts his intuition and Doesn't really matter sometimes if you hit the second string or the first string. As long as you're properly fretting the chord, then it's all going to sound fine. Measure 17, we've got a normal E minor. And it's thumb, pinch 4 and 2, 6, 3, 4, 2. So again, we've seen that right hand pattern a million times. Right into 18, we lift it again. So it's thumb, pinch, then I'm going to lift it. And I'm kind of lifting it only when I get to that 2. So thumb, pinch, thumb, and lift it. And right back into a G in 19, or sorry, C with a G in the bass, then lift it to a G. Stay on the G, put it back down, keep it down, lift it up. And that takes us all the way to measure 22. Almost done with the verse here. If you look at 23, back to the E minor 7 or E minor 9, where you lift it, and a D7. This one's a little bit weird, and this is Dylan. Like, is he making a mistake? Dylan's always really sloppy, but his confidence is so spot on that it doesn't matter. John Hurt is the same way, even. Well, I don't know who's more so. I'm not going to make that claim. But both sloppy players, but really kind of percussive. So 24, starts out with that D7 idea. Thumb, pinch 4 and 2. Then check this out. I'm hearing him actually do 6, 3, but I'm hearing that 3 is being open. So maybe he's lifting the entire chord there, then going to thumb. And then he's kind of like hitting a few there, right? It's like, I call that a heavy brush, or a brush rather, right? So instead of just picking the second string with my middle, I'm brushing. Now I've said this before, it's harder for me to brush with my middle, so this is one of these measures that I'd probably do index, then use the index again to brush. Like, I'm aiming for 2, but I'm brushing 3. Even if I hit 4, it's fine, but basically aiming for 2 and 3. So one more time, I'm thumb, pinch 4 and 2, back to the thumb, lift the chord before I do that 3rd string open, thumb on the 4th string, then brush the top 2. 3, 4. Well, I didn't lift it. 3, 4. Yeah, 3, 4. And then right into the G. Sorry, right into the C/G in 25. Lift it up. Keep it up. A little different in 26, just note that he does thumb, pointer. Oh no, never mind, that's the same. 27, back to the D. So this is the only time I'm hearing this, and feel free to do it as a normal D7. But in this measure too, it sounds like he's doing that 3rd string open. So it's still like a D7, but I'm not fretting that 3rd string, so I got, the strings are 6, 3, then 4, 2, and it just repeats that. So thumb, pointer, thumb, middle, and I'm only fretting the 6th string and the 2nd string. Almost there, right? It's a lot of repeat stuff, real easy, right? Once you get the hang of it, it's real easy, I should say. 28's just a G. 29. Yeah, real easy. Now the verse would repeat and there would be a second ending. So these little numbers above it means, well, first, at the end of measure 29, you got your tab free to download at mikesmusicmethod.com. At the end of 29, you'll notice there's a repeat sign. So you go all the way back to the verse, which is measure 6. And you would play all the way from measure 6 to 26. But you'll notice you're not going to do ending 1 the second time. See how in 27 there's a 1 above it? So I wouldn't do that. Instead, because I'm playing it the second time, I'm going to jump to the second ending. So I would jump from measure 26, skip over the first ending, and then go to measure 30. And this is the second ending here. And here it is a full like D7 chord. Yeah, let's talk about it instead of me trying to explain it. Let's just play it. So what I'm doing here in measure 30 is a D7 chord with my thumb over the top. I'm doing 6, 3, 4, and then I'm going all the way to the first string. It's the first time we're doing that on the D7. I'm still using my middle finger, but feel free to use your ring. Like that. 6, 3, 4, 1. Thumb, pointer, thumb, middle or ring. It's up to you. And then back to 6, and here I lift the chord to get the pointer finger, thumb, and the middle are all open. 6, 3, 4, 2. Last 3 notes are open, so 3, 4. Lift it. 31 is a G. Same thing. 32, 33. He varies it a little bit. I love that variety. It's just 6, 3, 4, 2, 6, pinch 4 and 2. And then measure 34, just 6, 3, 4, 6, 3, 4. That is basically the entire song. Now, you would repeat, and now every time he's doing different endings. So you can either do ending 1 every time, or ending 2, or vary them up, or kind of create your own little noodling that you're going to do over that G, D7, G. Once you get the feel of it, you're going to kind of realize, like, oh, I get how he's doing this. You're going to kind of see little tricks and just do it the way that you like best. Now the final verse before we start singing it. The very final verse, you'd go back to where the verse is, I think measure 6. You'd go all the way from 6 all the way to 22, but then you see in measure 22 it says to coda. So the very last time, you're going to jump from 22 all the way to the coda. And the coda is here in 36, and this is like how he ends the last verse. The boots of Spanish leather. And we'll do that to the end of the song. So again, 36, we got a G. This is another weird Dylan moment. He goes to the E minor early. It's like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and he jumps unexpectedly early to that E minor 9. So then we go to that E minor 9, 6, 3, 4, 2. Then we stay there, thumb, pinch, we lift it all up for the ending there. Seeing all that? Back to the D7, thumb, pinch, thumb, pointer, thumb, middle. Same thing again, kind of. It's thumb, pinch, then we lift it. That right hand pattern is the same that we've seen 100 times in the song already. Takes us to 40, C with a G in the bass. Lift it. Stay down. Now here, this part's cool. One little new element that we haven't seen in the song yet. On this measure 41, we got thumb, pinching 4 and 2, 6, 3, 4. Now we do a brush on the 2nd and 3rd string, but he puts his first finger down, and he's moving a moment early into that D7 chord. I love it. It's called an anticipation. He's putting that first fret down to anticipate the chord to come. Now, yeah, you only want to put that first finger down, though. I was going to say you could put them all down, but you can't, because I am hearing that 3rd string open. So we're on that G. On that final beat, I'm putting my first finger down. That's the pointer finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm moving those other 2 to then lock into that D7 chord, however you're playing it. So one more time, 3, 4. Let it all ring. It sounds great like that. Shoo! The donation pitch. Guys, Mike's Music Method is brought to you by the Value for Value model. That means it's your support that keeps me going. I love bringing the content to you all, but it is a labor of love. So to keep it short, value for value. I put in my time and talent and treasure to bring you this stuff, and I ask that in return some of your time, talent, and treasure. That could be monthly support. It could be a one-time donation. It could be you sending me an amazing email, encouraging me. All that's great, but just know, obviously, they all go a long way. It all goes a long way, the emails and the financial support. But I would love to make this my day job, guys. There's a lot of you out there supporting me, and hats off. My heart goes out to you all. Thank you so much. You're actually supplying me with a meager income with this channel now. Not enough to like dive and stop doing everything else. It's not that much, but thank you so much to those of you who are donating. And this is a real thing. Like, you just got to support what you love out there, or it goes away. You know, support what you want to see more of in the world. If you like some really accurate tabs, someone walking you through them measure by measure, encouraging you, then please support so I can keep doing this and do more of it. That's it, value for value model. You can read more about it at mikesmusicmethod.com under the little donation thing up on top. You got it. Let's keep going with boots. And I got bloodshot eyes, not because I'm doped up, okay? I don't do that stuff. I don't do the funky stuff. My kid's been sick and I've been up since 2 a.m. But I wanted to do this and bring it to y'all. And then I'm going to go to bed pretty soon, even though the sun's still out. It's almost bedtime. Let's keep going with boots of Spanish leather, though. Yes! And then it goes right into 42, which is this D7, 6, 3, 4. And then I'm brushing the top 2 strings. And I'm going to hammer onto the 2nd fret, open to 2. So it's a brush, and I'm hammering it. It's pretty aggressive. And Dylan actually flubs it here. He flubs it in this measure. He redeems himself later on, but he kind of botches it. So we got 6, 3, 4, brush. Then right when you do the hammer on, it's a giddy up. We're going to hit the thumb at the same time. So that can be weird if you don't know what a giddy up is. I cover this a lot. You should get my ebook. Finger Licking Cowboy Pickin' talks all about this technique and so many other more techniques. It's a great book. I won't ramble about it right now. I'm not in the mood, but it's a great book. Go check it out. So we got 6, 3, 4. I'm gonna brush into that hammer on, but the moment I hammer, my thumb's hitting the 6th string, and that's the giddy up. At the same time, doing a hammer. It's weird because I'm not sounding this again with my right hand. It's just the hammer, but I'm hitting that low note, and your brain's like, gosh, should something else be happening? And that's why it's the giddy up, and I cover it specifically there, but in the book. But then the measure ends with a 6, 3, 4, 2. 6, 3, 4, 2. 3, 4. Nice. I almost sound as sloppy as Dylan today. Then 43, just a G. To an E minor. And there we just let that 4th beat hang. We don't do an and beat there. It's just 1, pinch, 3, and 4. Then in measure 45, we realize it. 1, pinch, 3, and 4, and 46, thumb, pinch, lift the chord. Back into the D7, and Dylan nails it this time. G chord. So that last one again, 3, 4. Just goes into a G, hits the 6th string, and strums it. Let's learn how to sing it. Always, always, step 1, just strum the thing and make sure that you can do that. That might be hard enough to get the phrasing, to know when the chord changes are, and you're going to learn a lot doing this because it's going to take your mind off finger picking, and you're just going to be able to kind of feel those chord changes and focus all your brain power on that. And only when those changes feel good, when you know when they're going to happen with the left hand, then you can start to incorporate the right. So don't feel like you got to do everything at once. In fact, you shouldn't do everything at once. Like when I teach piano, you teach a kid how to play the right hand and then the left hand. I know that's like harder to separate on the guitar, but you can still separate it. And one way to do that is just strum downbeats. So you do yourself a favor. We'll start from the top of the tab, just strum the chords. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to sound a little weird. Oh, I'm a sailing away, my own true love. I'm a sailing away in the morning. I think I might have missed a beat there or added one. Is it something to send you from across the sea? Now, you'll notice that Dylan, his timing can be weird. Sometimes there's like an extra beat, or he trips you up by going a little bit early. He's like notorious when he does that, especially on those albums where he goes electric and like the band's trying to match when he's going to change, and like the bass player's like wrong sometimes and he's quickly correcting. It's hilarious and great. So Dylan does that, makes his music a little more dynamic. Anyways, back to that E minor. From the place that I'll be landing. So make sure you're comfortable with that and you're consistent with your own delivery, right? Don't always try to match Dylan, but just know Are you going to count an even 4? Are you going to get comfortable with that and be consistent before you start picking the thing? Next step, step 2, is just do the thumb. So from the top, 3, 4. I got to count you in, don't I?
Oh, I'm a sailing away, my own true love. I'm a sailing away in the morning. Something sent from across the sea.
Sorry, I gotta scroll there. You get the idea, though.
From the place that I'll be landing.
So I need practice too, but that is the process. Make sure you can do a simple 1, 2, 3, 4 while delivering the vocal phrasing. Spend a lot of time there before you try picking the thing. But then step 3 would be, well, step 3, depending how hard the song is, sometimes I just do a basic pattern. If the song has a bunch of different rhythms and melodies, sometimes I'll just do like 1 pinch, 3 and 4, 1 pinch, 3 and 4. And I will do what I call a basic pattern throughout the entire song. This is an overlooked aspect of getting better at picking. You want all of those basic patterns, not all of them, but you want at least a dozen of these kind of like basic patterns, just 1, 2, 3 and 4. Or can you do 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. You want all these different rhythms in your fingers to have down. You want to have them down to muscle memory before you try varying it up and adding melody and whatnot. So that's a great step 3. And for this song, I would just do 1 pinch, 3 and 4, 1 pinch, 3 and 4. Ignore everything else. Ignore all the bells and whistles. Another great thing about this technique is you get off the page, which is so valuable. Just doing 1 pinch, 3 and 4, and 4, 1 pinch, 3 and 4. And I do that through all the chords where I can just either look at a chord chart or memorize the chords. Then you're not stuck staring at the tab the whole time, and you're just doing a basic pattern. As you get better, you can kind of mix and match a few basic patterns that you got in your tool belt, and that'll give you some beautiful variety. And sometimes you can just do that without even having to go listen and learn all the complicated finger picking of a song. I've got a live video. I don't think I can link my live ones, but it's called like Finger Picking Freedom or something like that. And I talk a lot about that basic pattern picking idea. It's also covered in the ebook, Finger Licking Cowboy Picking. It's an amazing ebook. Best picking ebook out there. I'll wager on that. I said it. Slow run-throughs. Let's do the intro in the verse, and then we'll repeat a verse and do the second ending. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slow run, just the final verse where it jumps to measure 36. Take it from 36 to the end. 2, 3, 4.
I'm sailing away, my own true love. I'm sailing away in the morning. Is there something I can send you from across the sea? From the place that I'll be landing. No, there's nothing you can send me, my own true love. There's nothing I'm wishing to be owning, just to carry yourself back